something. Come on. Ah! Swing and a miss.
There's a lot of fun.
Don't throw it wide.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Tonight, a spreadsheet wizard with a knack for timely power, and an accounting legend with an all-around attack. Wishbone enters the stage with hopes of a final resurgence following an impressive rookie showing in Season 8. Phil meets him with his eyes on a coveted bye week, looking to cap off a dynamite Season 9. Will Phil close the loopholes, or will Houston ward off all problems? It's time to find out. The Auditors versus the Nasonauts. This is Match of the Week.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's XBL AAA Match of the Week. I'm Light Snack, aka Florabelle, aka your play-by-play announcer. With me on color commentary with the playoff stash is Weaver for Prez. Weaver, you ready for a big AAA matchup tonight?
I definitely am. These are two of, I guess you could say, a couple fan favorites here in the AAA. They were rookies last season in AAA's inaugural year that we had in Season 8. They're back for Season 9. They're both having good campaigns, and it's going to be a great night. I have no doubt.
Yeah, we've got Phil and the Auditors taking on Wishbone and the Nasonauts. Both teams that, if I recall correctly, were very highly ranked coming in to this season, although it feels a little bit like they might have flip-flopped a bit. Phil performing a little bit above expectations, whereas Wishbone, a little bit of a struggle there since that the preseason. However, since this is the AAA and all teams in the AAA for XBL do make it to the postseason, the overall record might not matter as much as a streak towards the end, a hot streak that you can push and propel you momentum-wise into the postseason.
Yeah, momentum at the end of the season is critical if you ask just about anybody around the league. But in the AAA, especially, playoff seeding is also critical. And that's kind of what they're both playing for tonight, especially Phil. Phil currently sits in a position to have a single bye week, which would be, for anyone who has aspirations of making it far in the playoffs, that's huge. Wishbone, on the other hand, probably just looking to find himself in a seed where he can get some home field advantage in that first round. But either way, both these guys a lot to play for. And like you said, the seasons haven't gone quite as expected. Wishbone last season especially was actually a very big power threat there in that kind of upper mid-table range. Whereas Phil is more of a more well-balanced attack, doesn't completely shine at a specific area of the game. Granted, I would say he's one of AAA's better pitchers. I believe he's ranked third in batting average against this season. So definitely a lot to love from both these guys, and like you said, they have a lot to play for.
A ton to play for here as we wind down towards these final games in this season. You mentioned a little bit about the power threat that the Nasonauts have had in the past that's sort of lacking this season. I think it's still pretty prevalent, as evidenced by Dwayne's keys to the game that he's left us here. The first one being preventing moonshots. Both of these teams have the opportunity to go deep, to send the ball over the field, over the fence, I should say. And, it's going to be up to their pitching to keep that in check. And I think whoever is able to, jump out to a lead first might be in the driver's seat at that point.
Yeah, solo shots could be huge. I've said it's been kind of a joke in the past, but it's honestly not a joke. Wishbone kind of has a knack for going back to back. So if we see one solo shot, you could see a second one right after. And yeah, we mentioned the power. The game itself. It's been a bit down for Wishbone this season, but the power. He's still a power threat. He actually ranks 7th currently in the AAA in home runs, despite being off to the rocky first half. Well, I guess you can't say first half anymore. We're almost done with the season.
Right.
Yeah, the power threat is still there, and for Phil it is as well. He has 22 home runs on the season. That's nothing to scoff at. You can't make a mistake to either of these guys.
Absolutely, and that's why they're going to both need to run deep at bats. You know, you want to make sure that you're pitching. You're going to try to get ahead in the count and try to finish them off early. That's why they need to be patient at the plate. They both know of the power behind each other's bats, so they're going to want to pitch carefully. And so it's up to their batting. It's weird that they have to think about both the pitching and the batting in a similar way, I should say, making sure that they don't give up any meatballs while at the same time knowing that the other player is going to be in the same exact frame of mind, trying to paint those corners, trying to lay off of those pitches at the right off the plate.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to who can mitigate the rate at which they chase out of the zone. Whoever does it more probably is probably going to lose. And that kind of builds into the third key to the game that Dwayne left for us, which is build for the big inning. Solo shots here and there, they're probably not going to break your back. But if either of these guys can put together that big crooked number, that 4 to 7-ish run inning, that and then to piggyback off that, to place some good pitching there for the end of the game to shut it down, that could absolutely be the key to the game for both of these guys. Just look for one of them to try and explode early, and if they do, that could be all they need. The XBL AAA, we play at 80 batting ego and 90 ego for everything else. So pitching is a little bit hard. Batting a little bit, everything is very hard, actually, I should say. When you're getting above like the 60 ego range, things start to get extremely competitive. Here we're playing at 80 ego for batting. So while it's not at the 90 ego precipice of XBL, it's a little bit lower. It's still very competitive. However, there are still ample opportunities to drive the ball deep, to rack up a ton of runs. AAA has been scoring very high games across the board this season. So it definitely isn't out of the question to see a 7-run inning from either one of these teams tonight and still think, well, the other team still has a shot. Yeah, and both of these guys do utilize the power swing. I think Wishbone a little bit more than Phil, but Phil still uses it. So, like you said, yeah, these guys, they do hit the ball hard. They swing for the fences often, especially with their best hitters. And I would be shocked if we didn't see some fireworks here tonight. And we're ready for those fireworks to be set off, Weaver, as we get started for the AAA match of the week. It's Phil versus Wishbone, the Auditors versus the NASA Knots. Stay with us, folks. We're going to get that to you right now.
And it looks like Phil and the Auditors will be the home team for game number 1 here at Colonial Plaza. Very dark here, a bit of a rainy day in Colonial, but the fans still coming out in full swing. Look at that packed stadium.
Fans do love the Auditors. Like I said, one of the fan favorites. And they look at here, they sell out the crowd even in the rain.
Blinding green fan outfits there as Gus Grissom steps in against Ted Trivial. A very interesting pitch arsenal for Ted there. First pitch of the game misses just a bit high on the curveball. A two-seamer, a cutter, that curve that we just saw, and a changeup as that curve lands in there for a strike. I don't think I've seen a pitcher with an arsenal that looks like that this whole season, as that one is lined right to the second baseman, who picks it up and fires it to Flash at first for out number 1.
I'd say a bit reminiscent of, I believe it's Brennan Beluga, the reliever of the Nanaimo Megafauna up in the XBL.
Very little, yeah, that does look very similar. However, I've never seen it with all 4 corners like it is right here on this baseball. I think it might be just a slightly different arsenal, but it is reminiscent. You are correct.
I'm sorry,
low velo, high junk. Yeah, you're looking at the bars.
I was
there.
just looking at the bars,
that one is grounded right back to the pitcher, who throws it to first for out number 2. So 2 quick outs here. Just what the Auditors want, getting these outs early. Only 6 pitches thrown by Trivial so far. First pitch swinging, belted to deep right field, but it will die at the warning track for partner. And a quick 1-2-3 inning sends us to the bottom of the first.
And an arsenal like that sometimes can get in your head a little bit, but I don't think it'll last too long if there is a mental effect. You can see the stats on that pitcher. As it can get confusing when talking about stats. I mean the in-season stats. They were good, but not great. So definitely potential for Wishbone to smash here.
And Wishbone looking to do to Phil what he did to him in the first inning. A quick, easy inning on defense as the second pitch of the game is grounded out. So with 1 out and nobody on, Pizza Party Partner is stepping up to the plate, batting .333 on the season, as that one is looped over the head of the shortstop, and that'll be the first base runner of the game. A 1-out single for the Auditors.
Great piece of hitting and a ton of speed over there at first. Not sure exactly what the book is on Phil as far as base running goes, but we'll probably find out.
Takes the first pitch all the way, runner doesn't go. Just a bit low on the 101-mile-per-hour heater. That one misses inside, sticking with the heat. It's going to go to the changeup here for the 2-0. Floats in there for a strike. Runner still holding at first. The 2-1, runner goes. Swung on, it was a hit and run, but that ball goes foul. And we'll have to go back to first base there. Wishbone taking his time. Phil stepping out. So a little bit of mind games.
Yeah. Early mind games. You love to see it.
Oh. Very much so. That takeoff attempt staying in here with the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him high and inside with the 101-mile-per-hour heater.
Uh-oh. Fraudster Flash. Look at all that power. That's nearing maximum.
And with a power versus lefties bonus, Wishbone thinking about a pitch out there, decides to pitch around. First pitch swinging, however, the changeup out of the zone. Armstrong picks it up, fires it to first, and that is how the inning ends. So the Auditors get a runner aboard, but they can do no more with it as we head to the top of the second, tied at nothing apiece.
Let's see if we can pick up maybe a change in approach here from Wishbone against a very unconventional pitcher. I know sometimes you see the low velo and you think it's feasting time. It doesn't always work out that way.
First pitch swinging, and that is lined softly into the glove of the first baseman for out number 1. Yeah, like you were talking about, that low velo, it lures you into this false sense of security. You know, you feel like you can mash somebody who has that low velo, just wait for your pitch and rake it. It's never that cut and dry.
No, certainly not. But I would say that if there is going to be a pitch like that, it's going to be either that two-seamer or that cutter left or right over the plate. That would probably be the most likely bad outcome here for Phil.
Wishbone gets into a hitter's count there, 3-1. That one out of the zone. He reaches down for it and grounds out for out number 2. So he was able to extend the at-bat there, one of the keys to the game that we talked about briefly. Unfortunately, he just wasn't able to get the outcome that Wishbone was looking for there. And a good pitch from Phil to get him to chase there on the 3-1. As that one is ripped right back up the middle, and that's going to be a 2-out knock for the Knots.
Yeah, super hard contact there. And you mentioned on the previous at-bat, he did a good job extending it, but Phil did his job of getting Wishbone to chase, got him a little over-eager on a hitter's count pitch and got the ground out. But Wishbone still with a ton of power at the plate and 5 home runs on his catcher out of the 7th spot for the year.
Phil recovers with a great pitch on the outside corner, makes him chase that one. Might have been a bit out of the side of the zone, but the second baseman isn't able to get a glove on it. Everyone is going to be, no! The throw at third! In time for out number 3. Wishbone gets a blessing, and Phil guns him down at third.
Wow, gunned down with no mercy. Wishbone being maybe a bit too aggressive. Honestly, I probably would have sent them too. Granted, I wasn't looking exactly what the speed number was on the runner, but it had to have been low. That and Phil must have thrown a 99 dart over to third base. Good job.
The 0-2 there. Wishbone gets Phil to swing at that one, throws it to first for out number 1. But yeah, what a play that was for Phil, not to get down on himself for that infielder missing the play, just picking it up, keeping the play going, and getting the third out of the inning. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and you never know what happens when that 8-hole hitter comes up to the plate. We'll have to see what their stats look like. I'm sure they're formidable.
We'll have to wait until the top of the third for that one, as Phil is looking to keep that momentum going. 1 out, nobody on. The 2-1. Swung on right into the glove of the shortstop Armstrong for out number 2. Bringing up lazy liabilities. The .324 average and 3 homers on the season. Stafford's first pitch is a changeup, misses low. 1-0, going for the corner, swing and a miss. The 1-1 from Stafford misses just a bit outside. So the 2-1 to lazy liabilities, taken all the way, just a bit too high. A big count here. The 3-1 misses over the plate, is hammered, but foul.
That's what you want on 3-1, a cookie of a fastball. He just missed it.
Interesting location here. Swing and a miss. Got him with the heat. Phil unable to connect with the pitch. That looked like it was over the plate there, Weaver.
Yeah, it was a red pitch, so it's kind of hard to tell, but I believe you're right. He just whiffed through it. It was just a bit too fast.
Sticking with the heat paid off there for Wishbone, and now he gets his chance to bat here. First pitch swinging, lifts it to left field. Bloops catches it in left for out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out here. Ted Trivial, only 18 pitches thrown here in the top of the third. Stafford, the pitcher, up to bat.
Yeah, the pitcher up to bat, but you can see he's no slouch, hitting .316 and has even driven in a couple big runs. So certainly no gimme here in the 9-hole.
Would be curious to see how many of those hits he's gotten while locked in as he is right now. Ted trying to get locked in as well. The 2-1 swung on. That's going to get over the shortstop's head, and that's going to be another hit on the year for Stafford. A 1-out knock.
Such a great feeling anytime you get a hit with your pitcher. It just feels like gravy, like you're playing with house money, because now you turn it over to the top of the order, your best hitters, and your worst hitter got on base.
Especially a nice soft liner there where you make good contact. That one fouled off. He's able to just loop it over the shortstop's head right into no man's land, get a runner aboard as the lineup turns over. So big thing here for the Knots. Runner on first and 1 out. The 1-1 swung on and hammered. That's going to get down. Will it get to the wall? It will. Right fielder gets it back in, but the runners advance. So second and third with 1 out, as that is a double. No runs scored yet, but it does bring out Jim Lovell. And now you have to think, what will Phil do here? With that base open, does he pitch around? No, he goes right into the strike zone with that curve.
Well, one thing's for certain, he is going to be very careful. This is potential for that big inning like we talked about pregame, but Phil wanting to shut it down.
Makes him chase off the plate twice, but it gets away from the catcher. Where will the ball go? Go home, and the runner is out at the plate. A heads-up play on defense there from Phil, the second of the game already, and that will prevent a run from scoring. So 2 outs, runners at the corners. That one is grounded towards the hole. The second baseman is able to get there in time, throws it to first, and a lot of pressure from the NASA Knots early, but Phil is able to keep a lid on it. We stay scoreless.
Wishbone he's run himself out of a couple innings already here. We're only in the 3rd inning. That's the second time he's been thrown out on the base paths. So I would think if he has more base running opportunities later in this game, we're definitely going to see him slam the brakes on.
He might, but also we mentioned it for the first big play that that happened there. It was something that both of us would have done as well. I would have sent that runner home as well when I saw how far away that ball got from the catcher. So he isn't making terrible decisions. Just Phil is able to capitalize on these situations and come out the victor both times. Big swing and a miss there from Phil. So 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
You can see Judgment jam crazy stats out of the leadoff spot. An homage to the reigning AAA champion, Jam Paladin.
Jam Paladin, who was not able to play this season. Jam hammers that one right into the glove of the 3rd baseman, Aldrin. We head to the top of the 4th, 0-all. 4, 5, 6 batters due up here for the Knots.
Now batting the first baseman, number 23.
John Glenn batting a .270. 7 dingers on the year, would like to make it 8. First pitch misses low, taken all the way. Ted delivers, just missing inside. So far the low velo, high junk is working for the Auditors. 2-0 comes in, that one low is swung on towards the hole. That one's gonna get through right off the glove of the 2nd baseman. So a leadoff runner is aboard here for the Knots as they try to threaten again.
The shortstop.
Big spot here for Wishbone, but harkening back to one of those keys, he needs to stay patient, work the count, and not chase like he does there, and it could be 2.
Out at 2nd and on to 1st, not in time. All right, so a fielder's choice there for the Knots. It looked like it was going to be a tailor-made double play, perhaps just a bit too slow off the bat. Regardless, 1 out now and a runner on 1st. Phil checks the runner there at 1st as Buzz Aldrin steps in. Definitely thinking heads-up play there from Phil, I should say, because the RBI man trait is there for Aldrin. So if the runner gets to 2nd, big boost there for the batter. That one is hammered, though. The runner doesn't take off. It is right at the right fielder who gets it into 1st, going for the 9-3, not in time. So 1st and 2nd now with 1 out, and Harrison Schmidt up to bat.
Yeah, good idea there from Phil. Not a ton of speed on that runner, but just enough, apparently.
Big swing and a miss there on the 1st pitch. The 0-1. Swinging, drives it foul. That one a bit low. The 0-2 to Schmidt. Phil taking a little bit of time. Delivers. Swung on, grounded to short. The throw to 2nd in time. The throw on to 1st. The double play. So once again, the Knots get a couple of base runners, but unable to drive them in. Gets caught chasing and grounds out into that double play.
Yeah, pitching and defense here for the Auditors has bailed them out a few times. Probably worth mentioning that Phil is actually the reigning AAA Defensive Player of the Year.
That one will land fair just off the glove of Lovell, so that'll be a big leadoff double for the Otters. I was about to say, I'm pretty sure Phil was only at 1 hit for the game coming into this inning. Make that 2, and that's a big leadoff double as Pseudo steps up. And a lot of speed at 2nd.
Yeah, only 1 hit until that point, but he had made some pretty good hard contact here and there. So not too surprising. He hits another missile out to right field. Finds some grass off the misplay from the right fielder, but now Wishbone got him on 2 strikes.
Big chase there on the low change. That one taken all the way, though, right down Broadway. Couldn't pull the trigger, and that is a big strikeout for out number 1. First pitch, check swing just off the plate. Phil able to hold up. The 1-0 to Fraudster Flash is lined towards the gap in right field. Grissom's going to have to hustle to cut it off. He does. A little, might have overran the ball a little bit there. Had to reach behind him to make a fancy-looking catch there.
That's one of those plays where your heart stops a little bit, especially after you blew a half second, trying to decide to go front with the center fielder or the right fielder. Ends up making the right call and makes the play, so no harm, no foul.
Phil chasing that low changeup, grounds it to the shortstop who fires it to 1st to end the inning. So that big leadoff double for Phil, but Wishbone was able to lock down his pitching there, get out of the jam. We're still tied at 0-all here in the top of the 5th. Wishbone swings at the first pitch, that low curve. The throw to 1st is in time for out number 1. Here comes the pitcher again, and the same situation as last time these two met like this. Stafford locked in, Ted still somehow not locked in. He has been allowing a lot of base runners, though.
Yeah, a few rallies here and there, but the key here for Phil is that he hasn't allowed his pitcher to get rattled. That's when things really can get messy.
Yeah, or tense at all. Like, he has been staying at the neutral level and has been very good. As Stafford swings at that one just off the top of the bat, that will float into left field. Bloops gets under it to make the catch for out number 2, bringing up the top of the order, Gus Grissom. 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the 5th. Swinging at the first pitch, drives it foul, does Grissom. Ted Trivial, his 45th pitch of the evening. That one is inside, swung on and lifted to center field. Plenty of time for Sudo to get under it. Makes the catch for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the 5th.
It's a great pitch there. The cutter in on the hands of the left-handed batter. Really fools Wishbone there. Gets him to make that weak contact. This is a bit of an interesting, I'm just realizing, a bit of an interesting hitter to place in your number 6 hole.
Not a lot of power, but a ton of speed. Yeah, a curious decision to put him here. Only 204 on the season. That one gets through the glove of Aldrin. That'll be an error on the third baseman. Phil with a lucky quick chat there, knowing how he was able to get that first baseman aboard.
Yeah, those can be devastating, but for now, the damage has yet to be done, assuming Wishbone can get out of it. This is a good start for him to overcome that error.
A great curveball there from Wishbone gets Phil to chase. Lifts it into shallow right field for out number 1. So runner on first now with 1 out as Corrupt Ion steps in. 247 average. No homers on the year, but 8 ribbies. Stafford still locked in. Heater down the middle, taken all the way for a strike. The 1-1 going to check the runner with a pitch out. Runner does not take off. The 2-1. Heat on the corner, swung on and fouled. Brings the count here to a big 2-2. We'll see if the runner goes. He does not. Swung on, and that one will land just foul down the third base line.
I'd say that's a guaranteed run if that hits chalk.
Absolutely. The payoff pitch. Swung on and belted right to Armstrong. It does not hit the ground. The runner is able to get back to first, so it is out number 2. The inning continues, and the starting pitcher is up to bat. Ted Trivial will stay in the game. Takes the first pitch for a strike.
Yeah, Phil maybe not wanting to gamble with his bench here. He likes what he's gotten out of his start. He wants to keep it rolling.
Trying to milk a few more pitches here from Stafford in the bottom of the 5th. The 1-2. Taken all the way, just misses high and outside. The 2-2. Swung on. That one was also a bit outside. Goes inside here with the 2-seamer. Big check swing there from Phil, is able to hold up. The payoff pitch to the pitcher. Swung on and lifted on the infield. Armstrong calls it off. Makes the grab for out number 3. So we head now to the top of the 6th inning. 2, 3, 4 batters are due up for the knots. We are scoreless.
Great job from Wishbone to overcome that error over there at third base, which could have been absolutely brutal. It was brutal just to watch. But if there is a takeaway from it, it's that third baseman is going to be tense as far as mojo goes.
Absolutely. We'll see how that affects the rest of the game, as that one is grounded out to start off the top of the 6th. So 1 out, nobody on here for Alan Shepard. Takes the first pitch outside. Ted Trivial, stats starting to diminish just slightly. Ever so slightly, you can see that blue line for junk. It's starting to fall down a little bit. But on the whole, staying pretty well. Top of the 6th inning and only his 50th pitch on the way. The 2-1 misses just a bit inside. Wishbone extending the at-bat here. The 3-1. Taken all the way low and inside, but it is called a strike. That breaking ball right on the corner. The payoff pitch is swung on towards the gap in right field. A bad jump on it from the center fielder. Will he be able to cut it off? He will, but a ton of speed from the batter. He's into second, no problem. So a 1-out double there. Some good batting from the Knots.
That was a fantastic at-bat. I thought he drew the walk there on that 3-1 curveball, I believe.
Yeah.
That was just a great pitch, low and in.
But instead, he gets one better and is able to drive the next pitch to the right center field gap. So runner on second, a 2-0 count, so a good gets ahead of the count here for Glenn. Takes that pitch, a breaking ball in the zone. The 2-1, swung on up towards the middle. Ions is able to cut it off, throw to first in time for out number 2, but the runner advances from second to third for Neil Armstrong, who has a big power versus righties boost. head, looking at his sub-screen for just a moment, deciding to keep things as they are.
Yeah, I thought maybe Phil would go to a lefty to get rid of that power boost. He may
does
wish
not.
he had.
That one is belted to deep center, but Colonial is a big field, and Pseudo is able to get to the warning track to make the catch for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the 6th. The NASA Knots have 7 hits, have not been able to secure a run yet. We are scoreless, and Judgment Jam steps in.
Can't really say I expected a scoreless game more than, or at the 2/3 point of the game, roughly. But we'll see how it goes here in the final 3 innings. Both these guys can hit pretty hard.
We'll see if Phil's bats are able to wake up here against Wishbone. He chases that low changeup. Aldrin picks it up, throws it to first for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th.
The right fielder,
Thomas Stafford doing excellent here. Still locked in, a 2.87 ERA. Trying to get a sub-1 whip. A beautiful curve in there for a strike on the upper part of the zone. The 1-1 here to Pizza Party Partner. Misses just a bit inside. The 2-1 floats in there for a strike. Phil not offering. The 2-2 just a bit high. Takes it all the way. Works the count full. Payoff pitch is that high curve, and it's belted right back up the middle to Grissom. A big at-bat there for Phil, and he gets a 1-out single out of it.
Yeah, the curveball right down the middle, as stupid as it sounds, can be effective sometimes against a power swing if you get them timing for the wrong thing. But Phil there was contact swinging. That's why he was able to rip that easy pitch up the middle. Now he's got something cooking.
Yeah, Phil hopping on the first pitch there. Changeup just in the zone. He's able to lay into it, into left field, and the runners advance. So first and second with 1 out here. Thomas Stafford is still locked in. 68 pitches thrown, but perhaps Wishbone looking at a substitution, and he is. His locked-in starter, who has kept things scoreless through 5 1/3 innings, is done. Ed White comes in. Good velo, good junk. First pitch in there for a strike. 4-seamer slider screwball change. Goes with the screwball just off the plate, chases it, and the runners were going off. Good thing that it goes foul for them. Fraudster Flash, power versus lefties. Curious that he brought in a lefty for this at bat. The screwball chasing. Dribbled towards the pitcher. He throws it to first for out number 2, but the runners advance. So second and third. 2 outs for Cassius Krill.
number 13.
What an opportunity here for Phil.
First pitch right on the corner. Looking for that corner again. Just misses. A big at bat for both of these teams. 4-bar pressure. That one misses just a bit low. The 2-1. Screwball in there for a strike. Phil unable to pull the trigger. The 2-2, high heat, taken all the way. A big, big take there from Phil. BB Prone activates for Ed White, a 6.04 ERA on this reliever. 4-seamer taken all the way, not close. Krill will go to first base, so the bases are loaded for billable bloops. No power, a lot of contact. Can we get a bloop here from the billable bloops? That would give Phil a big lead.
I'm somewhat surprised we're not seeing a pinch hitter here, but billable in a nice count here.
Wild pitches in there for a strike. The 2-1, swing and a miss. Bases loaded, the 2-2. Swung on, that one will go foul down the third base line. Bases loaded, we are scoreless here in the bottom of the 6th. 2 outs. The 2-2 to Boops. Swung on and dribbled towards alternate third. A ton of speed from the batter, and he's safe at first! The Auditors get an RBI on the infield hit from Bloops.
What a moment there for billable bloops. We made comment earlier about how it was kind of a head scratcher that a character like that could be sitting in the 6th hole with such little stats. Ends up being the hero there in the 6th inning. Granted, it is only a 1-0 game.
It is only a 1-0 game, and then at the very next batter, chasing the first pitch, popped up to end the inning. So the bases are still left loaded, but the Otters with a big 1-0 lead. The first pitch, the Knots swing into that one, and it will land in front of Pseudo. No dive attempt from the center fielder. So a runner aboard here in the top of the 7th. Nobody out. So a leadoff knock.
Ted Trivial still out there.
Still out there. He was locked in as that one is driven to deep center field, but it will hang up. Pseudo misjudges it. It lands in front of him. So 2 balls hit to the center fielder, neither of them caught. First and second with nobody out.
somewhere right now, maybe in our chat, BK His Dudeness is shedding a tear of joy at that base runner freeze executed there from Wishbone. That allowed him not to get doubled up in second.
Chases that low pitch lined into the glove of the second baseman, but isn't able to tag anybody else out. So 1 out and nobody on. The pitcher is coming out. Gene Kranz will be pinch hitting. First pitch is outside. Ted Trivial was locked in coming into this inning. He had a mojo down as soon as that first runner got aboard. As that one is hit towards the hole, it will get through. The bases are loaded with 1 out here for the Knots. And Gus Grissom, the top of the order, is up to bat.
Tremendous opportunity from Wishbone. He just needs to avoid the double play. And as long as he can do that, he should be able to tie the game here.
We have to see what Phil is going to do. And the day is over here for Ted Trivial. 6 1/3 innings pitched, and right off Weaver coming in. Low velo, high junk, so very much a similar pitcher as Ted Trivial, who started things off. The first pitch in there for a strike. The 0-1 swung on right in front of the catcher, who steps on home plate and throws it to first for the double play. That could have been called foul. It was not, and it ends as a heartbreaker for Wishbone.
Wow. Hey, he could not have hit it any weaker and still had it go fair. And it turns into the old step on the plate, throw to first, easy double play. Get the Auditors out of a jam, and now they have a chance to expand their lead.
7th inning stretch. So the bottom of the 7th, 1-0. The Auditors hold on to that lead, but 10 hits for the Knots, just unable to manufacture any runs off of those at-bats. Corrupt Ions gets ahead in the count here, 2-0. The first, that pitch in there for a strike. The 2-1 from Bluford, who is in the game now, after that pinch hitter in the top of the 7th. The 2-2 goes for that high curve, swung on and fouled. A composed K-Dud is that reliever, but 14.06 ERA. That one is belted right off the glove of Bluford. Wait for him to get a glove on that, knock it down, and throw him out at first.
That's a huge stop. I thought that was destined for center field. Bluford had other ideas.
Definitely would love to see the fielding stats on him. That ERA now below 14 for him. Curveball in there for a strike. The 1-1 to right off Weaver, who's staying in the game for relief. Missing pitch is swung on and missed. K-Dud activates for Bluford. The 2-2, the low change taken all the way. Payoff pitch here to right off Weaver. Is swung on, grounded towards the third baseman, picks it up, fires it to first for out number 2. Top of the order coming up here with Judgment Jam. Looking, as you said, to extend the Auditors' lead. Swings at the first pitch, right into the glove of the shortstop Armstrong, heading us to the top of the 8th. 2-3-4 batters due up here for WishboneRulz and his NASA Knots, looking to catch a break.
Yeah, Wishbone kind of counters there with a bit of his own high junk, low velo magic. Now it's time for Phil to keep his rolling.
That one belted to deep left field, but Colonial keeps it in. Bloops catches it at the warning track for out number 1.
Still the right idea for Wishbone. I think maybe just trying, maybe probably not on purpose, but pulling a few too many outside pitches.
Just waiting for his pitches in the zone to try and drive deep. The 2-0, that one catches the outside corner, doesn't offer at it. Power versus lefties is active for Alan Shepard. The 2-1 is swung on, gets under it. It was right on the corner, so a good pitch there from Phil. Gets the job done, out number 2, caught by Pseudo in center field. Brings up John Glenn with 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the 8th. The Knots trail by 1. Swings at the first pitch, grounds it back to Weaver, fields it cleanly, and gets the out at first to send us into the bottom of the 8th.
Phil definitely looking for insurance here. The fact that he's shut out the NASA Knots offense thus far is quite the testament to his pitching. But if I were him, I would feel very nervous with a one-run lead going into that top of the 9th.
Right, and he throws a risky curveball to start things off, and it was drilled, but just foul by Pizza Party partner. Bluford still in the game, trying to get that ERA down. The 1-1 here to partner is hammered, but on the ground towards Mattingly, picks it up and throws it to Glenn for out number 1. Skeptical Pseudo stepping in. 1 out and nobody on here. First pitch in there for a strike. A beautiful curve right on the outside corner. Stays with the curve, this time low. Misses just a hair. 1-1 goes with the slider. Not offered at. The 2-1 here to Pseudo is swung on towards the hole, but too weak to get through. Glenn picks it up, throws it to Bluford, who covers at first. A good play there to get the out.
One more tough task here for Wishbone, potentially, before he can send himself out for his last chance. But a ton of power, contact speed, you name it, on this pitcher.
Yeah, the number 4 batter, Fraudster Flash. He can drive it deep. He has 4 home runs on the season and a big 330 average. K-Dud activates here for Bluford on the 1-2, taken all the way. Curveball in the dirt. The 2-2. Misses inside. Big payoff pitch here. Goes for the changeup. Swung on, weak contact. A diving catch from Glenn at first to end the inning. We'll see if Wishbone can take that momentum into the top of the 9th. His last-ditch effort to get back into this game. 10 hits, but no runs for the Nassanauts.
Middle part of the order here, but they all can swing it and swing it with authority. It's only going to take him one swing to tie the game, potentially. He's got to wait for his pitch, though.
Speaking of swinging, 8 home runs on the year for Neil Armstrong, who's in the batter's box here. Swings at that pitch, however, outside, and it will ground out into the first out of the top of the 9th. A big out there for Phil, but in steps Buzz Aldrin, who's 3 for 3 on the day. Right off Weaver is locked in on the mound. Swings at that one. Will it be a 4-hit day for Aldrin? It will be. 4 singles for Buzz Aldrin as that one gets down right in front of the left fielder for a big 1-out hit. The tying run is aboard.
Ton of speed. That looks like 99.
Possibly a 99 speed pinch runner, so Aldrin is done for the day. Harrison Schmidt at the plate, looking to be a hero here for the Knots. Swings at that one, hammers it into the glove of the leaping Jam. The throw back to first, not in time, but a big defensive play there for Phil.
Huge defensive play. If that gets past Judgment Jam there at shortstop, it's a tied game.
Right off Weaver, looking to end it. 1 out away from giving the Auditors the win here in game number 1. The first pitch, just a bit low. Runner on first here and 2 outs. Ken Mattingly swings at that one. A pitch to swing at, but just got under it. Just got under it and sends it back into the netting for a foul ball. Swing and a miss at the high heat. Big at bat here, the 1-2. Swung on and fouled, keeping the game alive. Weaver delivers. Swung on, grounded to the first baseman. Steps on the bag for out number 3. And it is Phil and the Auditors who come away with the dub in a close game. 1-0. Phil is able to hang on and win the game there, but the Nassanauts were threatening, it seemed like, every inning.
They really were. They out-hit the Auditors, I believe, 11-5.
11-5, yeah.
Yeah, and really just a testament to the pitching ability of Phil and the Auditors. I said before in the pregame show, he is the rank 3 pitcher in the AAA this season. If you just look at batting average against, I believe, and it really showed there. What he really did a fantastic job of was one of our keys to the game, which was getting his opponent to swing out of the zones. He set him up for those situations, and then just drop the hook low, or the changeup low, or the cutter inside, or the changeup outside. And Wishbone was not able to hold off on a lot of them, and that was the difference in the game, 100%.
Yeah, just caught chasing a few too many times, and he was able to get, like we said, 11 hits on that game. So it will obviously sting a lot to know that you hit the ball, you got on base through hitting 11 times and weren't able to drive in a single run out of those base runners. But as you said, Phil was able to just throw pitches out of the zone, get him to chase, make it look appetizing, and Wishbone unable to hold up because he was drilling the ball when it was well in the zone. It was just those sneakers that were right outside the zone that, your off speeds, your screwballs, that he could not hold up on. It's those moments where you get the reticle over to where the ball is going to be, and you're like, oh, it's there, I can swing on it, and it just does not come out the way you wanted it to.
Yeah, the speeds and timings and all that from the Auditors pitchers were just a bit, maybe not exactly what Wishbone was expecting in each at bat. But still a great pitching job, not only from Phil, but honestly from Wishbone too. Definitely got to give props there. One could argue that he even had the better pitching performance, only allowing the 5 hits from or against Phil. Unfortunately for Wishbone, they all pretty much occurred back to back in that one inning. And the infield hit from Billable Bloops ends up securing the victory. And then on Wishbone's case, he had more hits, but they were just spread out a bit more. Made a couple of big mistakes on the base paths, and it results in a big 1-0 victory for Phil, who again is really looking and searching for that first round bye.
He really is, and going back to that bases loaded situation, where Phil was able to get that infield hit. Wishbone, to his credit, if that is anybody else, then Billable Bloops probably out at first. But he was able to just lay down what was best described as a swinging bunt, able to get on base there, beat out the throw, get that 1 run of the ball game, the run that ultimately decided the win there for the Auditors. But then on the next at bat, Phil chasing that first pitch and popping up instantly. So Wishbone able to do an excellent job of pitching and defense on his own. However, just wasn't able to get the job done.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned Billable Bloops was the one who beat out that infield hit. And if it had been the batter before or probably the batter after, it may not have gone down that way. Just a ton of speed on that player. And we mentioned it was kind of weird that that player was even in the 6 hole in the lineup. And as it turned out, he was the hero of the game.
He really was. The fact that we singled him out earlier, and it wasn't. It just he ended up being the hero, as you said.
Yeah.
We're looking to get game number 2 underway here. We're just waiting for both teams to, I believe, take a breather and just figure out how to best bring you game number 2. It looks like the goal here is to bring you the opposite perspective here for game number 2. We were watching from WishboneRulz' perspective in game number 1 with the NASA Knots. And it looks like we'll be going to the Auditors for game number 2. And it looks like we're getting ready to get that underway. We're just waiting for these two teams to queue, and we'll be ready for game number 2 of this very, very close series. It'll be interesting to see if this game number 2 is a bit more of a slugfest than game number 1 was. Like, we were talking about 4 to 7 run innings in the pregame show, and what ended up happening was a 1-0 pitcher's duel in the first game.
Yeah, maybe these guys just kind of needing to get warmed up maybe a little bit. I'm not sure if either of them spent too much time doing so before the games, but again, I think there's no way we're going to see another 1-0 game. There's going to be more runs scored here as we get into game 2 any moment now. And yeah, like you said, we're switching perspectives over to the Auditors, and this is a pact they kind of made between themselves. These two friends here playing tonight, when they found out early season that they were being matched up with each other, they kind of decided, how about you stream one game, I stream the other. So that's what we're in for tonight. Wishbone kindly giving us his stream for game 1, and we'll be jumping on with Phil here in a few moments.
We'll be there in just a few moments, folks. Hang tight. We're getting it ready for you. Rock Park, where Wishbone and the NASA Knots will be the home team. So it'll be the Auditors up to bat first. And it looks like Collins will be pitching for the Knots. Michael Collins, 6.23 ERA for the starting pitcher for WishboneRulz. We'll see if there's any difference in terms of the pitching stats between these two teams. Definitely some interesting arsenals that we saw in game number 1.
Yeah, it looks like Collins here fairly similar to the starter for the Nasonauts in the previous game. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Phil is countering with here in game 2.
Phil rocking the black and green away uniforms here. Off to a good count here. The 2-1 from Collins. Right on the corner. A good pitch there from Wishbone. The 2-2 here to Judgment Jam is swung on and lifted high into right field. Lovell is able to get under it, makes the catch for out number 1. Brings up Pizza Party Partner. 1 out here, and nobody on in the top of the first. The first pitch is in there for a strike, right on the outside corner.
Definitely a bit more of a power-friendly stadium here than we saw in Game 1. This is Red Rock Stadium, which is not a park we saw at all in Season 8. I believe 2 people have chosen it here in the AAA for Season 9.
Absolutely. There were a few hard-hit balls in the last game that died at the warning track of Colonial Plaza. Might have a chance here in Red Rock Park. I don't have the schematics up for both of these two parks' dimensions. But as you said, much more hitter-friendly here, especially down the corners. Is that one a big check swing for strike number 3 against Pizza Party Partner? So Pseudo will step up, 2 outs and nobody on. Michael Collins. First pitch misses just a bit outside. The 1-0 in there for a strike. Pseudo just taking his time here at the plate. The 1-1. On the upper part of the zone, a good strike there from Collins. The 1-2 just a bit low. 2-2 here to Pseudo, right down the middle, and swung on. The diving shortstop can't get the glove on it. That's going to get all the way to the wall, so a 2-out double for Pseudo of the Auditors. Thinks about stretching it to 3, then heads back to second.
Great 2-strike hitting there, putting that one way deep into the gap. Gets him a runner in scoring position with a ton of speed. Basically anything that finds outfield grass, I would think, is going to score that run.
And that brings up Froster Flash, the cleanup batter. Gets into a good count here, 2-0. Contact versus righties is active. Big swing and a miss at the high breaking ball. 2-1. In there for a strike, a nice high heater.
Perfect fastball.
The 2-2, just off the plate, a good hold there from Flash. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, 99 miles per hour. Couldn't catch up with it. A big strikeout there to strand the runner at second.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that either... Well, no, I'm going to guess that was a misfired power pitch that ran over the plate. Only 99 miles an hour with the attributes that pitcher had. A non-misfired power fastball should be 100 or higher. So maybe Wishbone getting away with one right there.
Bit of a break there. Rainy Revenue is the starter here for the Otters, and very similar sight. Low velo, big junk. That curveball is crushed, but right to Ions at second. Picks it up and throws it to Flash at first for out number 1.
Number 18.
Jim Lovell batting here with a 286 average. Rainy Revenue, a 4.46 ERA, so a decent job there from this starter this season. Only 2 strikeouts, however, so that low velo hard to get the Ks, as that one is weak contact made right into the glove of Jam at shortstop, a quick 2 outs.
Number 29.
Good start so far for Rainy Revenue. A character paying homage to Rainy 84, of course, who I would say is on track to probably take the Von Asen Award in the AAA this season, with only maybe I think a couple games left to play.
Yeah, an excellent pitching from Rainy and the Moons this season. That one is lifted to Pseudo in left center field. That sends us to the top of the second inning, scoreless. As we get towards the end of this season for the AAA and the brackets start to solidify for the postseason, Rainy definitely not only in the running for the Von Asen, the best pitching award for the AAA, but also looking at making a big postseason run as well.
Yeah, looking to secure not only a single bye, but a double bye It's going to be a very interesting AAA playoffs, like we've been saying on some of the weekly roundups and whatnot. A lot of parity in this league. Phil and both of these guys, really, Phil and Wishbone, you could throw their names in the parity hat as well as we go into the postseason in a couple weeks.
So a 1-1 pitch was swung on and driven into right field for a base hit. And then the next pitch was a wild pitch, got away from the catcher. And so we have a runner on second. Phil goes for a bunt. It's nice and fair. That'll move the runner over to third. Bloops is out at first, brings up lazy liabilities with a runner on third and only one out.
Looks like he's going to try to squeeze, but not a ton. He may just be being cheeky. I was going to say there's not a ton of speed over there on the runner.
There isn't, and a nice ground ball there is going to be able to do it. They'll get the out at first, but a run comes in to score for Phil. Quicker first run than in the previous game. 1-0, the Auditors lead.
Kind of surprised. I thought maybe that would be an opportunity for Wishbone to play his infield defense differently. Not a lot of power at the plate, not a lot of speed on third. Oh, nice pitch there to get out of the inning.
Yeah, the right down Broadway and unable to, or not right down Broadway, but just unable to pull the trigger on that one in the strike zone. And that'll end the inning. But a big first run there for Phil and the Auditors. They have a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. The Wishbone and the Knots looking to get their first run of the series. And they've been able to get a lot of hits. Not yet, as that one is grounded to Jam, and the throw to first is in time for out number one.
Yeah, the score total of Game 1 has already been matched here very early on in Game 2. See who strikes next.
It'll be interesting to see if it's similar scores between these two games. 1-0 changeup is swung on, reaching outside of the zone. There is Wishbone. Krill picks it up, fires it to Flash at first for out number 2. Brings up Buzz Aldrin, an RBI man, but nobody aboard to trigger that trait. The low and inside curveball is hammered right to Jam at short. Picks it up and throws it to Flash for out number 1. A very quick defensive inning there for Phil and the Auditors.
The high junk, low velo just continues to throw Wishbone off his game, if you will. He's I would say it's only a matter of time, though, until he makes that final adjustment he needs and starts hitting like we know he can. Be up to Phil to manage that.
Rainy Revenue up to bat here in the top of the third to lead things off. The 1-1 to Revenue, in there for a strike just on the outside corner. Revenue already locked in, trying to get a hit. That one is skied to left field. Shepard makes the catch for out number 1. Turn the lineup over, and Judgment Jam steps in, the righty. Michael Collins, a 6.10 ERA. 28 strikeouts on the season. Curveball's in there for a strike. Brings the count to 1-1. The pitch. Curveball again, but that one missing just a bit high. The 2-1. Off the plate. Some good patience here from Phil in game number 2 so far. Swings at the 3-1. A good pitch to swing on, but right at Armstrong. Picks it up and throws it to first for out number 2. Pizza Party partner stepping up. And Michael Collins is locked in.
Yeah, I was going to say there's definitely a disparity, I think, between the two plate approaches of these guys. I mean, neither has really been scoring, obviously. Both games 1-0. But it does seem like Phil, by and large, has been the more patient hitter.
Sending the at-bats, and the pitch count has a lot to say for that. I believe that was the 45th pitch thrown there from the starter of the Knots as we head to the bottom of the third.
As opposed to the 15 you can see here coming up for
yeah. We'll see how many pitches Rainy Revenue ends this inning with, and if the Knots can wake up their bats. Bottom of the third here, the Auditors lead 1-0. The first pitch misses just a bit outside. Harrison Schmidt not offering. Curveball on the outer part of the plate is swung on and lifted to right field. Partner at the warning track makes the catch for out number 1.
And that's probably the only part of this ballpark where a fly ball like that can reach the warning track down that right field line, where that foul pole kind of has a Fenway Park effect. That's definitely the spot if you want to try and hit a short home run.
See if he keeps that train of thought going. The 1-2, cutter on the outside part of the plate. Revenue picks it up, throws it to Flash for out number 2. A soft dribbler back to the pitcher for the ground out. Michael Collins stepping in, locked in is the pitcher. Both pitchers locked in. Curveball in there for a strike for the first strike. The 0-1 misses just a bit outside. The 1-1 here from Rainy Revenue. In there for a strike, a nice screwball right on the outside part of the plate. Change up off the plate, got him chasing. Jam ranges back, makes the grab for out number 3. So 9 in a row retired there for Rainy Revenue as we head to the top of the 4th. 3, 4, 5 batters due up.
Yeah, 9 up, 9 down. It's been a masterful pitching evening for Phil. More so, especially in the first third of this game, as he has not gotten into any kind of trouble yet. But Wishbone matching him, just that one mistake on that double from Phil.
1-1 is swung on just a bit inside. Mattingly picks it up and throws it to first. Glenn makes the grab for out number 1.
The first baseman, number 4.
Brings up Fraudster Flash, 0 for 1. Contact versus righties activates first pitch right down the middle, taken all the way for strike number 1. The 0-1 here to Flash, just a bit low. The 1-1 is swung on and drilled to deep right field. Does it have the distance? It does not. A diving opportunity there for the right fielder, but is unable to come up with it, so it won't be a home run, but it will be a big one-out triple for Fraudster Flash.
Now batting,
You can see Phil took a little bit of a round there around third to maybe draw an errant throw or what have you. Obviously the right call to hold at third. He had no chance of making it home.
Phil looking to extend his lead here. A 1-1 count here. A base is open for Michael Collins to put Krill on. We'll see if Wishbone goes that route. He is pitching to him, though. Big swing and a miss there. The 2-2 is swung on and right past the diving shortstop. That'll be a big RBI for Phil and the Auditors, and they lead 2-0.
Yeah, and that's going to be an RBI ground out even if he comes up with it. But obviously, Phil super happy to have the hit.
That one, first pitch, is lined into the glove of the left fielder for out number 2. But a big insurance run, like you were saying, for Phil.
Yeah, big insurance run. He has already doubled his lead from game 1, or his final score from game 1. We'll see how that goes going forward. It's a lineup reset, though. 1, 2, and 3 here for the Nasonauts, looking to figure out Rainy Revenue.
Yeah, the Knots looking to get their first hit of the game here in the bottom of the 4th. Going with the curveball. Just a bit outside. The 1-0 here from Rainey, going with the curveball again. That one swung on weakly right into the glove of Jam at short for out number 1. Brings up Jim Lovell. Revenue Rainey still locked in, only 27 pitches thrown from the starter. Screwball just a bit outside. Goes with the changeup. Off the plate, swung on. That's going to bloop right into left fielder in left field in front of the left fielder bloops. And just like that, the Knots have their first base runner of the game.
Yeah, a bit of a tongue twister out there with the weak contact out to billable bloops. Who I keep wanting to say is boops, but it's not. It's bloops.
Billable bloops is boops. There's a board or in left field, unable to get the out. So runner on first here with 1 out. Big swing and a miss there from Alan Shepard. Just a bit low on the 0-2. That one is low and swung on towards second. To throw to second in time, to throw to first, the double play. And the Knots get their first runner aboard, but hit right into the double play, sending us to the top of the 5th. And Phil, he's only leading by 2, but at the moment it feels like a commanding lead.
Yeah, it certainly does. And just going back to that last at bat there, sometimes you can throw it twice. He tried to get him to chase that changeup just below the zone. Wishbone took it like a champ, but he went right back to the same exact spot. And this time Wishbone, I guess, saw it a bit differently and grounded out into the double play.
Corrupt Ions at the plate. Swings at the 1-1. Good contact, but right off the glove of Collins, the pitcher, able to knock it down. Makes the throw to first for out number 1. That brings up Rainy Revenue in the pitcher spot. Takes the first pitch all the way for a strike. The 0-1. Taken all the way for a strike. That one just on the outside corner. A good pitch. The 0-2. Bring him up 3 pitches on the outside part of the plate, just taken all the way. And that's a good strikeout for the Knots.
Yeah, probably a smart idea there from Wishbone to not waste any of his time on the pitcher as the pitch count climbs here. You don't want to spend more than 3 pitches if you don't have to on the weakest hitter in the lineup.
That one skied towards the gap, and Grissom unable to come up with it. Has to play it on the hop right in front of his feet. So a 2-out runner aboard here for the Auditors. Runner on first here with 2 outs for Pizza Party partner. First pitch just a bit outside. The 1-0. Just a bit inside, getting into a good count here is Phil. The 2-0 from Collins is swung on and hammered, but fouled down the first baseline.
Kind of seems like Phil has abandoned the power swing.
Collins' 70th pitch, just a bit low. Zafito starts to tank the 3-1, hammered, but the second baseman playing a bit back is able to field that one well. Throws it to first to end the inning. We head to the bottom of the 5th. 4, 5, 6 batters due up here for the Knots. And a tricky situation as Wishbone starter really starting to get up there. And it's unlikely, as it stands, that he will get to the pitcher spot this inning.
Yeah, we'll see. Potentially, maybe he wants to utilize his bench. Not sure exactly what he's got on the bench, but he could perform a double switch if he really doesn't want to go with Michael Collins there in the top of the 6th. But we'll have to see.
That changeup is ripped into left center field. Another base hit for the Knots. A 1-out single as they try to keep this lineup going, this inning alive. Buzz Aldrin steps up. RBI man for this batter. You might see the runner at first take off.
Yeah, and I think Phil is thinking about that with these long timings between pitches. He's trying to catch Wishbone potentially off guard.
The 2-0 out of the zone. Jam makes the grab for out number 2. The runner has to hold at first, so nothing going there for the RBI man trait. Harrison Schmidt comes up. The catcher is tense. He will be staying in the game. Swings at the first pitch, right into the diving glove of Krill at third base to end the inning. We head here to the top of the 6th. The Auditors in full control of this game.
The center fielder.
Yeah, it really does seem like they're, despite only being up 2 runs, it just kind of feels like Phil is hurtling towards that sweep. The way he's pitching Wishbone has been tough as nails.
And we talked about this a bit before, and it's a little bit more true here in Game 2 than Game 1, that whoever would strike first would be in the driver's seat, and it definitely feels that way for Phil. Michael Collins still staying out there for the NASA Knots, gets into a 1-2 count. We'll see how long the locked-in pitcher stays. Big check swing! The changeup right on the bottom part of the zone. Strike 3 called.
And Phil certainly not going to get complacent. Everyone in the AAA knows just how good Wishbone can be when he gets his offense rolling. In fact, I believe he had a game earlier this season where he was trailing something like 7-0 early in the game, ended up winning the game.
Well, he'll need something like that tonight in order to make a comeback. Granted, it's only 2 runs. That one is belted to center field, the deepest part of Red Rock. Grissom is able to get back there and make the grab to end the inning. We head to the bottom of the 6th. 8-9-1 batters due up for the Knots. We'll see if that'll be curtains for Collins.
Yeah, deepest part of the park there, Triples Alley, if you will. If that's a pitch that he's, very early on and he can pull it down that right field line, that's an easy home run.
Rainy Revenue still staying in. The 1-0 is ripped over the head of the jumping third baseman. Bloops has to get it back in, so a leadoff knock here for the Knots. Once again, trying to get their bats to wake up. Michael Collins stepping in. We'll see if he is pulled. Wishbone immediately going to the bench. And it is Gene Cran stepping in to pinch hit. Takes the first pitch just outside. Some great power from this pinch hitter. Curveball. Well in the zone, taken all the way. Not the pitch you wanted. The 1-1 cutter over the plate is swung on. Belted to deep center field. Sudo going back. He got under it. It dies in front of the warning track. Bluffs towards second. Will hold the runner at first. That is a loud out number 1.
Yeah, it does kind of feel, though, like we're just on the brink of seeing that power display from Wishbone. He probably feels the same way. Let's see if he can unlock it here.
Probably also wants that cutter back as he swings at that screwball low and in the zone. Out at second and on to first. The double play. Phil shuts it down.
Great 99 throw from the Auditor's shortstop. That was the leadoff runner for the Nasonauts, so we had a ton of speed going down the line. Phil does his job perfectly, turns 2, and now has a chance to add to his 2-run lead.
6, 7, 8 batters due up this inning here for Phil, and the Otter swings at the first pitch and drives it foul. Ed White coming in for relief. The Nasonauts reliever, a 6 ERA, big velo and junk. The 1-1 is swung on, great contact into left field, but right at Shepard, is able to range over and make the grab for out number 1.
Now that Phil has been making some pretty hard contact, I'm curious to see whether or not he may try and go back to the power swing at any time before this game is over. Let's keep an eye on that.
Big check swing there on the pitch off the plate. Brings the count to 1-1. Takes the low change. The 2-1 to Lazy Liability is a big check swing, but that one right on the inside corner for strike 2. The 2-2. Inside swung on, a leaping attempt from Mattingly at second to get the grab for out number 2.
Those are the plays you got to make when you're trailing in a game, when the offense isn't there, but you're hoping it'll come out at the end. You cannot mess up the plays like that.
Yeah, both these offenses threatening to explode at any time, and both pitchers doing an excellent job of keeping things under wraps, as well as the defense. The 2-1 is swung on towards the third baseman. Aldrin able to pick it up, fires it to first for out number 3. We head into the bottom of the 7th inning stretch here at Red Rock Park. 2, 3, 4 batters due up for the Knots. Could be a big inning. Jim Lovell steps in, looking to get things started for the Knots. Rainy Revenue looking to keep things where they are. Goes with the high curve, the 1-0. Just a bit outside. Didn't get the call.
I like the idea, though, from Phil on that curveball, trying to hit that top of the zone. It could be a very foolish pitch for the hitter.
Taking all the way is that pitch. It gets in there. Brings the count to 3-1. Staying with the high curve, misses the location. In there for a strike, doesn't offer at it. Brings the count back full. High change, the payoff pitch. Taken all the way, it stays up. And that'll be a lead-off walk for Jim Lovell, and the Knots bring up Alan Shepard with a runner on first and nobody out. Some good patience there from Wishbone.
Yeah, certainly. That probably his best at-bat of the evening. Earns him a leadoff walk, a leadoff base runner with a ton of speed, and some of his best hitters here looking to get something in the gap maybe.
He knows the time is running out. Rainy Revenue still staying in. There are only 55 pitches thrown here in the bottom of the 7th. A gem so far. Gets behind in the count here, 2-0. Alan Shepard swings at that low curveball and belts it right back up the middle. First and second now with nobody out. The Knots looking to capitalize.
A few times tonight, Phil has bailed himself out with some big double plays. And let's see if he can find one here. This is a big moment in the game.
And the key here for Wishbone is not to start chasing. The 1-0 in there for a strike. He needs to remain patient. He needs to try and get in here. Rips that cutter that hangs over the plate. It's hit hard to bloops. Not enough speed to send anybody home. The bases are loaded with nobody out here for the Knots, and Neil Armstrong is up to bat.
This would be a point where I could see a change in the bullpen, even though he is locked in. Clearly, Wishbone's starting to figure something out.
Instead of a move to the bullpen, it looks like the Auditors are looking at a defensive substitution for the 10th second baseman. Corrupt Ions, and now they're going to the bullpen.
I thought maybe it would be a double switch, considering pitcher spot is up next. Nope, he will bat with that pitcher in the top of the 8th. For now, the task for Phil to get out of the inning.
And he brings in the high velo with CPA Phil. First pitch misses just outside. The 1-0 misses high. Gets behind in the count here in a crucial at-bat. The 2-0 misses low. A big 3-0, and BB Prone activates for Phil. In there for a strike. Bases loaded. The Knots trail by 2. The 3-1 is ripped just foul down the first base line. K-Man activates for Phil. A big pitch here. The delivery. Right on the corner, missed the location, but got him frozen. 103 miles per hour with that heater for the first out.
Yeah, missed the location, but was able to get a different pinpoint there. Still on that edge, and it fooled Wishbone just enough to get him looking.
And quickly Wishbone swinging on those first 2 pitches. The 0-2 just misses high. Bases loaded, 1 out for the Knots. The 1-2. Swing! This got him waving at the low change.
Wow, Phil is 1 out away from absolutely breaking Wishbone's back here.
2 outs and the bases loaded now for Schmidt. What started out as a bases loaded, no out situation. The 1-0, swing and a miss. The heater right on the corner. CPA Phil looking to lock things down. Goes with the high heat. Taken all the way. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Got him with the high heat. K-Man activates. The 2-2 is swung on weakly. Krill with a diving effort. Has to fire it to first. In time! The Knots leave the bases loaded. The Auditors getting out of the jam. What a relief inning for CPA Phil.
Just dynamite out of the pen there from CPA Phil. Not only bases loaded, nobody out, but bases loaded, nobody out, and a 3-0 count on the batter. It looks like Captain Krill gave his body there for that big out.
Yeah, he might be out for the season with that one. Just a devastating injury from that diving play. Was able to secure the last out of the inning, and it was a big one. But dislocating that shoulder, he will be out of the game now. But what an end to that inning.
Maybe got paid to fake that injury. You can see Phil putting in Wishbone's character at third base there, his opponent.
Big swing and a miss there from CPA Phil for out number 1. Brings in the top of the order. Judgment jam, 1 out and nobody on. Swings at the first pitch. A nice little blooper right into center field. Grissom picks it up and fires it back in to keep the runner at first.
Now batting, the right fielder, number
Pizza
5.
Party partner hitless in this game. Ed White still out there. First pitch is in there for a strike. The 0-1 here to partner. Runner takes off, a swing and a miss. The throw to second is late. So a good stolen base there from Phil, a runner in scoring position. Hammers the next pitch past the diving glove of the third baseman. Runners at the corners now with 1 out, and the Auditors looking to strike here after the Knots left the bases loaded.
Yeah, I mentioned if Phil had gotten out of that inning, he could potentially break Wishbone's will there, crush his spirit a little bit. If he can score an insurance run or 2 here, that would just be brutal.
Might be the nail in the coffin as Phil shows bunt there on the pickoff. Might be planning a squeeze here. Stays with the bunt, and it's a beauty. That'll score a run. The throw to first is in time for an out, but a runner advances to second, and a run comes in to score. 3-0, the Auditors lead.
Number 4.
Yeah, Phil choosing not to gamble too hard in case he could ground into a double play. Goes for the bunt instead. If it's back to the pitcher, he's cooked there, but does a good job getting it down the line.
Runner on second here with 2 outs. That one hammered right back up the middle. Could bring in another run to score. A lot of speed rounding the bags. It will. 4-0, the Auditors lead on an RBI single.
The third baseman, number
And this is starting to get out of hand here for Wishbone. Certainly not over yet, like we've been saying. Wishbone not the kind of guy that you're typically going to shut out 2 games in a row. The way Phil has been pitching, Wishbone really going to need to adjust.
It really seems like Phil has Wishbone's number right now as that one is lined out to Shepard in left field. But a big crooked number there for the Auditors. They put up another 2 runs, doubling their score to 4. The Knots are still scoreless. They are at 0 runs scored with Ken Mattingly stepping up. 8-9-1 batters due up. So the silver lining, of course, is that he will Wishbone will at least get to see his 2-3-4 batters again before the end of this game, which was in doubt going into the previous inning. The 0-1 there is grounded back to the pitcher for out number 1. Sorry.
Yeah, he will see his top of the order, but against a pitcher as good as Phil, and still with some decent arms remaining in that pen, scoring 4 in an inning, in 1 inning, the final inning, is just going. I think it's going to be too big of an ask. This is a good start here. He needs to find a couple more and not leave it all to the 9th.
Yeah, the pinch hitter coming in and doing the job, getting aboard on a single. Some nice contact right over the shortstop. 1 out and a runner on here. Gus Grissom is tense, unfortunately, for this leadoff man. That's right what Phil wants to see, trying to get a double play to just send him into the 9th. Locked in is CPA Phil after getting out of that huge jam. The 1-1 inside is swung on and lifted on the infield. Phil on the infield, and Phil is able to get under it and make the grab for out number 2.
Number 18.
Lots of tongue twisters in tonight's game. First pitch misses inside with the screwball. Heater misses a bit high. The 2-0 here to Lovell. Swing and a miss. Phil taking his time, wanting to get his positioning just right as that one is belted. Deep center field again, the deepest part of this park. Pseudo is able to get there and make the grab in front of the warning track.
That pitch, it's just a good pitch. It's low and away. If you want to hit it out, you got to maybe be a bit late on it so you can punch it out to that short porch in right field. Instead, it goes to dead center. Doesn't even make it to the track. Here we go. Last chance for the Auditors to add on before they go for the sweep.
6, 7, 8 batters due up against Jack Swigert, the closing pitcher of the NASA Knots. Not coming in a save situation. Four-seamer and slider. That four-seamer swung on and missed down the middle. The 0-2 from the Submariner is grounded to second. Picks it up, throws it to first for out number 1.
Now batting, the catcher.
Brings up lazy liabilities, 0 for 3 with an RBI on the day. Swigert delivers right down the middle, swing and a miss. Phil taking a moment, can't believe that he missed that one. Swings at the next one, right to Armstrong, who picks it up, throws it to first for out number 2.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 2.
Corrupt Ion stepping in. 2 outs and nobody on. The delivery from Swigert, a swing and a miss. The 0-1 is swung on and grounded towards shortstop. Armstrong picks it up, throws it to first for out number 3. So a very quick, good inning there for Jack Swigert and the NASA Knots as they are down to their last 3 outs here. 3, 4, 5 batters, the heart of their order, coming up to try and give the Knots a chance to come away with a split.
And the way Phil is pitching, it probably won't matter, but I would say if there's a potential crazy comeback to be had here, the 10th Mojo on that second baseman who we just saw ground out in the top of the 9th, that could be a catalyst.
It could be. However, on the first pitch, that changeup is swung on and grounded out, so a quick first out. Might be done for Phil here. He's looking at B. Hagen. Nope, Phil will stay in, the locked-in reliever.
Believing in himself.
He believes in himself indeed to get the job done. First pitch, the screwball just off the plate. The 1-0 in there for a strike. The 1-1 goes low with the changeup. Swung on off of the glove of Phil. They're going to have to hurry. Jam picks it up, fires it to first. Not in time, so a leadoff, 1-out runner is aboard here for the Knots, bringing up Neil Armstrong. And a base runner in Sally Ride coming in at first. Low change is not offered at. And now, after throwing that one pitch, it will be B. Hagen who comes in for relief. So CPA Phil is done for the day. But a good outing in relief, and a highlight for sure of the season will be getting out of that bases loaded, no out jam.
Certainly. And that one sailed right down the middle.
And Wishbone just unable to do anything with it. It looks like he got underneath it. That one, he's able to drive right into the glove of Ions, picks up and throws it to first, not in time to get the runner. He was able to get back to first safely, but now the Knots down to their last out after a hard-hit ball.
I mentioned his 10th Mojo there at second base. Turns out he makes a fantastic play, puts the Auditors 1 out away from a big sweep, and this would, I would think, almost ensure they get that first round bye.
Buzz Aldrin is tense, staying in the game. The last out of this game. Swung on and lifted on the infield. Sale gets under it, makes the catch, and the Auditors come away with a sweep. And as you said, Weaver, looking to secure that first round bye.
Yeah, 17 and 11. That puts him at, quick maths here, 28 games. So yeah, narrowing in on that end of the season. Gonna be a tough road for, no matter who you have to play. But I would say Phil looking very likely to be one of those teams that gets the first round bye. Not the first and second round bye. There are 2 different groups that we're talking about here. The top 4, 2 different byes. But still, if you can get 1 bye week, that's 1 less opponent that can upset you, and 1 more series you get to play this season.
Exactly. And simply because everybody in AAA does get into the postseason, that does make the brackets a little bit uneven, which is why some teams that are higher ranked get 2 byes as opposed to the still high ranked but not as highly ranked get 1 bye. It's just how the numbers work out there. And Phil, like you said, still has 4 games left to play. He has to play against, I believe, Chill and Job AJ. So the anchors and the battle tapes. So 2 big series for him there. But if Phil can play them like he played against Wishbone tonight, there's no doubt in my mind that he can secure that bye.
Yeah, the timely hitting is one thing, but the pitching is a whole nother. Phil showing why he is certainly one of the top 3 to 5 pitchers in the AAA. Did a fantastic job tonight of mitigating who we talked about in pregame. One of the more scary power hitters in the AAA. It was not on display tonight when he did hit the ball hard. Wishbone, he was a bit off balance and he just couldn't drive it to those deepest parts or past the fence. He a lot of them went into that power alley where sometimes it can feel like it's hard to get the ball to escape. But yeah, what a job by Phil. He's looking to close out the season strong, and tonight was a great start in that journey.
And a credit to Wishbone and the Knots as well. We talked about the power hitting capabilities of both of these teams, even though Wishbone comes away here getting swept. He was able to put a lid on Phil's offense for the most part, limiting him to only that 1 run scored on the infield hit in game number 1. And for the most part, doing a great job until that 2-run inning against Phil in the late part of game number 2. Unfortunately for him, just unable to get the bat started and some great pitching from Phil.
Yeah, the Phil offense is good, but Wishbone, to his credit, did a great job of pitching tonight. Yeah, of course, it was just Phil that kind of outdueled him out there on the mound. Had the better performance that earned him the sweep. Both games close, honestly. The 1-run game in game 1, the 2-run game in game 2. So the scores were close, but as far as performance went, I think Phil, he clearly tonight he deserved that sweep. He played very well, pitched very well, and not a whole lot to say. What a job!
What a job, and great 2 games played by both of these competitors. So we thank them both for streaming and giving us that alternating perspective. Yeah. However, that is not the end of baseball for tonight. That was our AAA match of the week. But coming up in just a short bit, we have our XBL match of the week. It's a big one, Weaver.
It is a big one indeed. It was scheduled to start a minute ago, but we will be going off stream and taking a bit of a break here in just a few minutes while we get those guys set up. Dwayne versus Finite Provision. Dwayne looking to close in on his first ever 500 or better season in the XBL. He's as a longtime vet. And Finite Provision, one of the Hall of Famers of this league, he had a very hot start to this season 9. But he's hit a big skid. I believe he's 0 for his last 10, or 0 and 10 in his last 10 games. He's looking to scrape into that postseason. These are must-win games for him tonight. This, I believe, someone said in the chat, possibly No Hummus earlier in the broadcast. These might be the most important games of the season that we have casted on this channel for Sunday Night Match of the Week. Can't wait to get into it.
It's quite possible, and we can't wait to start showing you that. We're going to get into a little bit of the postseason discussion as well in our pregame show right before the match of the week begins. You guys don't want to miss it. We'll be back here, like Weaver said, in just a few minutes to start the XBL match of the week, and we hope you stick around for that. See you guys then.